The Out There channel.
Please sub and share.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology. Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries. Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Boo. Yo. Anybody out there? It's a mad rush to do a live show. Unannounced, of course. So, not sure if anyone's going to be around. But we'll do it nonetheless. Might be some late night evening people over there in the USA, and I don't think there'll be anyone in UK, Europe at this time. Unless they're early morning people that are waking up now. What does that be? About 5 in the morning over there, probably. In some places. Hey, I was still up at 5. Okay, so what we got on today? I've managed to do some research on stuff, which I'll bring now. And we got a few UFO stuff to look at. Skinwalker Ranch today. I'm still working through my other videos, of course, on paranormal. I've moved back into my bedroom now, so far the light hasn't switched on or off by itself, so okay, I need to post the other stuff too. I keep forgetting it from time to time. So many things you have to remember. There's my web link. Can get most links there. I think there might be another link address that Plex made up, which also gives all links to your OT channel. I think it might be on the web page too, but let's just pin that one. Our WordPress free website page. You can find most things there, including our UFO group. That's the side thing done. So what were we talking about last time? Lots of things. So let's probably start off with Skinwalker Ranch probably. So I'll just go through a breakdown of it using some snapshots. Yeah, before I start that though, Let's talk about this one here. This is classic pareidolia. So one night I left the kitchen and I thought I left the door open, only to see it on the camera closed. So I thought that was strange. So I asked around, anyone been in there since? And they said no. So unless I forgot to close it somehow, or I got a helping hand of a ghost, I don't know. I was trying to find out on the camera, but unfortunately the camera that's facing the door takes JPEGs every 1 second when it first detects motion. Doesn't have a video record function, and the hallway one's a wee bit too fiddly to see because it's fisheye, right? And it's right at the end of the hallway, but you'll be able to see the back of people probably, or the front of people, whether the door was closed or not. But anyway, it takes 6 snapshots and sends it by email. Even though it's an old camera, it's a nice little function where the CPU on it takes care of it instead of having to use an NVR or PC software or Android now. So yeah, so these are the pictures it took. It's on the wrong screen. Off the kitchen door. Remember, that's where you used to get the tall whites showing up in the door frame here. So that's why I've aimed the camera that way. And I thought, oh, yeah, the door's closed. I don't remember closing it. I know I've been in the room when the door's unlatched and opened and didn't have a camera back then, but now we've got cameras. It's got a wee bit quiet. So yeah, what's unusual about this pareidolia one? I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see there's 6 frames and they're all pretty much identical. Can't see any movement. I've got some handy towel up there and some clothes on the bench. And when I come down here, I thought, oh, that guy looks kind of creepy. What's that in the chair? And I thought, looks like a demon doll sitting there looking at the camera. So I had to go to the kitchen and check it out. Yeah, so I go back to the first one. It should be the same. It's not a high quality camera. It's one of my old ones that I replaced. So I thought I'd put it in the kitchen to monitor the door. And it's sitting on top of the NVR where it's just doing all the video recordings, right? Yeah, so here kind of looks like a head, an eye, and the neck and a bottom. It kind of looks like an alien thing, doesn't it? Alien grey, but a baby one, a baby alien grey. I thought, crikey, I've got to go and check that out, see if there's anything in the chair. And sure enough, there was a coat, anorak, or what do you want to call it, for rain. Someone had rolled up and stuck it in the chair. And I couldn't see how, looking at it directly with the eyes, where I could see the baby head, but yeah, the camera obviously was reflecting off certain parts of it. So classic pareidolia, and our brains see what we want to see. Kind of looks like an alien grey though, doesn't it? I thought, hey, we got some proof of some strangeness. But yeah, if I was a fraud, that's what I'd say it was, right? I'd say this little baby alien grey was sitting in the chair. You know, you could see how the shells would use it. Just shows how poor the quality images were back 20 years ago. It's a really old camera. Maybe 15 years. 2005. Yeah. It's cost me $60 back then, which is really cheap. And the exchange rate for New Zealand was really good. American dollar was only worth half the value. So stuff that normally was costing $120, $200, we were picking up for a fraction of the price. It was no good for exports, of course, but it was good for buying. So yeah, I put that one up on Discord. But yeah, I still don't remember closing the door, which is kind of strange. So that's the only one I've sort of worked on so far. Got lots of other videos to go through and see if I can see anything in it. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet, but the light has come on 2 days in a row since, as soon as I mentioned it on the last live stream, come 2 days in a row and then it's gone silent again. So yeah, it's hard to predict when it's going to happen. But if I turn it off with the physical switch so there's no power, I think that will stop it completely. Because ghosts don't have that sort of strength to be able to switch on things like that. So we're on to Skinwalker Ranch now, I guess. Let me just do something here. It's very quiet, isn't it, today? We'll see if anyone shows up. Haven't seen Blue Chicken lately. It was quite busy last time we did a live show. Yeah. Not seen him on Discord lately. If you don't become sort of more active on Discord, Plex will do the purge, the bot purge, and get rid of you. Okay, so where's the start of this stuff? Okay, let's start recapping it. So, they got a little sample box of the debris they pulled out of the drill hole. They're trying to drill under the mesa, the mountain range, which is big boulders, right, of granite. To me, it looks like it's artificially made, though, the way the boulders are. It looks like what we have in New Zealand, where they build water barriers along the river to stop the banks breaching. So yeah, a lot of the rocks down around that where they're filming looks like it's man-made to me. So you know, it's got big gaps in it. So they found these little flakes of metal from the drilling. It seemed to hit something hard and wanted to go downwards, which kind of sounds like a big boulder to me. But they're thinking UFO because it's curved. Sounds like a boulder, maybe granite that the drill wasn't having any. It's probably curved enough for the drill not to get any bite into it, and it was pushing it downwards, and then eventually it went back upwards. So yeah, interpret that how you like. They didn't put a camera down there right to the end. They tried to, and it collapsed in the next day, which does tend to happen if you don't do it with a what they call it, like on like on Oak Island where they're drilling downwards. A cask, where it puts a metal thing around the outside. That would be the best way to drill. Drill straight down. Perhaps that's what they eventually will do. And do it Oak Island style. But yeah, anything that got into the cracks, maybe old car parts sort of thrown down there. Maybe they even used old cars and then put the boulders on top as some sort of structural strength. So who knows what used to be there in the past. I know a lot of farms did have old tractor parts and all sorts of garbage, from the gold mining days. It's all laying around, the countryside. So it makes sense that they'd probably pile it up and use it like rebar, how you put concrete down to reinforce the bank. Maybe they're trying to cover up something. But they kind of got an expert on there to analyse it. They say it kind of looks like flakes of metal. You never know. They might, back in the days they were dropping atom bombs not too far away from there, wasn't they? And bomb casing fragments and maybe even a downed test plane in that area. Who knows? So straight away they're thinking UFO because it's good for the show. So they got the expert on their samples that we looked at. This Indian guy, which they put subtitles on. It's getting slow for some reason. Looked like they've been fused. So it doesn't mean it was great heat, I guess. They used in the space shuttle Thailand. So it said it was layers of metal. So it could be an old plane. It could be an old X-plane or something. Maybe it crashed and some of the parts went straight into the mountain. So yeah, they're thinking it's obviously, got heat shield and it's got to be a UFO. So Travis said he saw something also when there was a little earth rumble. After the drilling, they pumped lots of water in, which probably, if they got limestone, may have collapsed in, or the water would have gone elsewhere where it shouldn't have, maybe other caves, and caused them to collapse in. Maybe they made it worse, right? Instead of using the Oak Island style drilling straight down so a man can climb down it. So yeah, apparently there's a UFO there, so if we zoom in we might be able to see it. Oh yeah, there's something there. What's it look like? Balloon! No, it's a UFO, they say it's moving too fast. Yeah, right. Who knows, it could be a bug. Just happened to see where he thought he saw something. So we need to run that through filters. You can see here we never ever get the real image from the video. They're always filming their screen. So it's always less quality to work with. kind of looks like a balloon, you know. It sort of has that shape to it. We'll run it through filters, see what pops out. So they set up the biggest experiment ever. With great big laser beams in the triangle. Now, not sure which way they're filming though. Because it makes a difference to what they see next. So the rocket with all the instruments on goes wrong, which often rockets do, don't they? And you can see it moved all over the place and then detoured off an angle. Can't really see the rocket. Maybe we should put that through filters. Can see the rocket engine, but the rocket must be here. And they all stand around their table there, staring at it. Now, I'm not sure which way they're facing, north, west, east, or whatever. But he pushes the button, was it for the first one, which blew up. I got an image, but it's there. Oh, there it is. Is that the one? Oh no, that might be the launch of the second one. There's the bend happening there. You can see it goes off slight angle, then tries to correct itself, and then loses it. And it leaves that. You can see the bend. There's a slight wind there, obviously. Then it tries to correct itself. And it seems to go totally wrong. They're saying there's something there it's trying to avoid. And in the black void, they think there's a portal, right? So they got the three laser beams, not four, going to a point. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, don't skim past this part. So the rocket finally goes on its way. See, that looks like a rocket, plastic contrail. But I guess the rocket is there. It's quite a big one. But it's strange that it doesn't sort of then correct itself and then go upwards, you know. There's got to be electronics failure, surely. So that's the second one they launched. The first one blew up. That's the first one that blew up completely. And then they try and put out the fire. So then they get reset up for a next launch, which goes wrong. And it always bends away from where they want to put the instrument readings, which they say is funny. They think there's something invisible there. So he goes back and checks the cameras, and obviously you can't see it on this image here. So it must have happened after. But they reckon they see a UFO. What's that? Okay. And you can see again they're filming the big screen. So the quality is not going to be terribly great to work with to analyze it. So what could it be? A UFO? Satellites? Trappers are saying no, it can't be a satellite moving too fast, but I saw it on the video, it didn't seem to be moving that fast. Could it be someone that's spying on them with a drone? So it's gradually moving up here. And then they rotate the image around like they're doing now. For some reason they rotate the image around, and so it looks like it's going horizontal rather than vertical. And that's it moving. Just looks like a dot in the sky, doesn't it? So yeah, would like to get 4K image of that and zoom in. That's never going to happen with that show because I don't like it being debunked. Yeah, it does look like, again, it's got a hole in the middle, doesn't it? So, could it be just simply a LED balloon again? Or a drone? Or would it be a hole in it though? So we probably need to run that through some filters. It looks like it's got a constant hole there, doesn't it? So, what's the possibilities? A drone? International Space Station? Iridium satellite again? So, the only problem is we only have the time was 9:30 PM. That's what we've got to go on, not the actual date that this was filmed. As usual. There you go. It looks like it's got a hole in it again, doesn't it? Could it be a letter O balloon? LED balloon. And someone's pranking them again after the rocket launch. It's just caught into the wind. But it's interesting, it gradually fades. Just keep on playing it. You can see it's fading now, see? It's gradually fading. Which, if it was like some sort of light source that's going out, could explain that. Or satellite moving away, or international space station moving away. Definitely looks like it's got the hole in it though, still. And you can see with every frame it's fading more. Still looks like an O. Very strange. And they reckon it's going to a portal. So UFO with a hole in it. Not too many cases like that out there, is there? So it's got to be something man-made. Yeah, it's gone now. Well, almost gone. Gradually fading more and more. But yeah, if you have a look at this other object here, which looks like it might be a star, that has a hole in it as well, which could be interference patterns for the atmosphere. You know, you get light interferes with itself in the double slit experiment. So yeah, that could be misleading. Okay, so going back to this one again because I repeat it a few times. There's the laser beams. You can see, and the light being scattered by stuff in the air, right? You can see there's the object. So they're just bending around the image for some reason. Going that way. Now he said it originally showed itself behind the mesa. So what's that make it? What direction they're looking at? So the mesa would be here. Oh, just coming into that. What's that last one? Alright, there's the shed that they're in, or house, at 9:35 PM. So that's all we've got to go on. We haven't got a date. So yeah, interesting, but not interesting. See, that one's got a hole in it too. So it's got to be atmospherics. If they got it in focus, because the more you have it out of focus, the more you get these artifacts, the ring shapes happening. It is a wide angle camera by the looks of it. So that would have to be an infrared there, wouldn't it? Because the lasers weren't blue anymore. Well, this one was taken with a regular, obviously a camera. Night vision? Color night vision? I don't know. But you can see there's reflections on the TV screen here, which doesn't help us. Of them looking at it. Kind of looks like a Chinese lantern there though, doesn't it? Updraft in the wind. And goes out. I still reckon that it could be someone's pranking them, or someone that's working for Discovery Channel, whatever it is doing it, putting it up there just to create some interest in the show. Is this streaming alright? Let me just check things here. Says it's connected alright. Where is everybody today? Must be something I've forgotten. Okay, so I need to analyze some of it. So the first one is this one here, you see in daytime. But again, it's off the TV screen. Dun, dun. Where's the open gone? Okay, let's see what it may look like. I suppose we could scale it up there to start with and then zoom in. Can't see much, can you? Brightness. Nope, doesn't do much for us, does it? Now you can see it on that. Strange contrast. Looks like a water droplet. Yeah, let's run it through color swap. Which one was it? Okay. Let's see what pops out now. Not much. It kind of looks like a balloon, doesn't it? Someone's pranking them. Pretty sure of it. Discovery Channel just throw up a balloon. Party balloon time. So his finger it sort of has a pear shape to it, doesn't it? Could it be simply a weather balloon in the distance? Of course, height is misleading, remember? When we see planes at 38,000 feet here, and they're not that too high up on the horizon, but they are high up. Curvature of the Earth is causing that, I suppose. So yeah, we might just have to crop that inwards. Gotta remember it's off a TV screen though. So that sort of ruins it somewhat. And there could be other reflections here that we see when we filter it. So let's just grab that. And have a good look at that. Dun 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 dun. New image. One. Okay. Anybody out there want to join in? Okay. Maybe we've cropped it too far up. Let's see what pops out now. I guess it's that there. Yeah, it kind of looks like a really faded balloon, doesn't it? Balloon capital, Skinwalker Ranch. So let's just go back. Make sure we got. Okay, sorry, place that there. Get out of the way. It's not grabbing it. Okay, there it is there. I'll just grab another image of it. You have to zoom in because you don't see it otherwise. I keep trying to put it there. Let's go back. Okay, I can't quite see it now. Okay, now we can. Okay, let's try that one. Let's redo that one. Yeah, here we go. I think this is better. Okay. Now we can see it a wee bit further out, so really close up. Let's run it through some filters. So it looks like the main body of it's there. It's not really coming up though, is it? Still looks very much tear-shaped like a balloon. But we can't really see much detail at all. Not on that one. On the screen it looked like a little circle. It definitely looks like triangle shape there, doesn't it? Coming down. Sort of transparent like a weather balloon. Or a party balloon. So, weather balloon. Okay. As you can see, very transparent looking, very much like what we're looking at. Like that one there. Like a high altitude one, but it could be like this one here too. Which can have round shape as well as a tear shape, depending how much weight they've got on the end, I guess. Giant surveillance balloons, so perhaps they're being spied on. It's hard to know how big it is though from that image, because if you had a plane in the sky and you got a tracking app, you could work out the distances and then you could use that for a size comparison, I guess. But they've got nothing for reference. So yeah, could be a weather balloon, could be a high altitude balloon. But UFO, I don't think so. There's too much of a tear shape to it. High altitude surveillance balloon. So yeah, we'll just grab the other image. So there is the shape that we're looking at. Fits very much tear-shaped balloon. Can't see any payload on it. So we'll grab the other image. And there was another one. Net. Hey, look, UFO. So he said it seemed to come from the mesa, heading up and away very quickly, which kind of sounds like a weather balloon release to me. Some farmer maybe releasing the balloon. Or maybe some government park where they release it. I don't know. Over the mountain range is Denver Airport, so it makes sense that maybe the airport was releasing weather balloons to get data for the planes, right? I still think it's a weather balloon. But anyway, just scale it up and let's have a look at the next one. I can't quite see it, but he's got his finger really close to it now. It's right there, I can see it. I wish we could get the actual images from the show to work with. Let's paste it in the image. So you can see the triangle shape now, can't you? That one might come out better. Let's scale it up. They never do anything like this on the show. Let's have a closer look at it. Now we scaled it up, it's less obvious, isn't it? But it's there. Let's run it through some filters. And there we go. Again, it's very hard to see. It's definitely a triangle shape. It has to be a weather balloon, surely. There it is, yeah. And that looks like changing the sky colour. Where's the original? It could be reflection. I don't know. It was sort of a thin cloud cover there, wasn't there? Got to remember filming it off a screen though, so some of it could be camera lights, reflection of people standing around behind. So there's the top of the mesa, all the random rocks. So it come up from behind and went up like that. That kind of suggests that it's going with the wind. I don't know which way the wind was going. We don't know what day it is. We don't know the time. So it makes it really hard to analyse it. So, yeah. So it's going up on an angle here. And it's got a tear shape to it. So the top of the list there would be balloon of some kind. Possibly weather balloon. Let's see. And it's near the airport. So let's just bring that up and actually Google it. So you got Skinwalker Ranch to Denver Airport. So the size of those balloons get bigger as they go up. Start at 7 feet and go to 32 feet before they pop. So that could be the right distance away. Maps. Let's see what we get. Okay. And you notice it's almost like a straight line to Skinwalker Ranch here, which I've talked about in the past, of underground tunnels. You know how they talked about Denver Airport being an underground tunnel system that they could drive trucks through. It would make sense that the tunnel system would even go under Skinwalker Ranch, but where would it head to? Salt Lake City. That's why they're not allowed to drill, because it might break into the government tunnel underneath. See, that's all the high mountain range there, isn't it? I suppose we go look at satellite view. You can see how rocky it is there, right? So if it was underground tunnel. So the mesa is also, whereabouts are we looking at here? Which direction are they filming? It's got to be Skinwalker Ranch, right? There we go. Where's the triangle thing? Skinwalker Ranch, triangle. Oh, right on the triangle. There's that triangle bit. And it's funny. So the mesa is all north, right? So when they film in the rocket launches, which direction would they be looking? That way? Where's the ranch house? They had the tables out front. Where's the ranch house? Or an administration building? Can we see that? Trees. Some shadows. There's a triangle bit. And there's the mesa with the rocks. Now, a lot of it looks man-made, I said. And maybe because they filled in something, right? Is it always the same rocks throughout? The bouldy rocks? I can't see the boulder rocks exactly filled satellite though. It's a bit hard to make it out. Looks like a load of rocks there though, doesn't it? Could it be man-made? From underground tunnels, right? Where would they dump it? And how long has it been there? Ranch 2. Okay, where's the ranch house? It's got to be here, hasn't it? So they're sitting outside on the benches. I can't see the house though. Skinwalker Ridge. Here's the house. Okay. Skinwalker Ranch. There you go. So, there's a lot of trees around it. Don't really see. Oh, there's the thing they're going for. Faraday cage. And what's that there? What's that there? What is that? Caravan? Could it be a caravan? There's 2 cars. There's the caravan out the back there, isn't it? We need a tour of the place, ground view. So they had the bench outside. Let's see if I can figure out which way they're looking. Where's the snap? There they are. There's the house behind them. So where do you think they're going to be? Because it makes it important. Are they looking north, east, west, south? Because that changes a lot of things when we want to do analysis on satellite movements and International Space Station. So they're outside. Can't see a tree. And they're looking at the laser. With the mesa behind. So that's got to be in the triangle. Triangle. There's the triangle. Each of the points of the triangle, surely. Laser on each of the points. With the rocket launcher in the middle. So now we've sort of got to get an idea. So there's the house, and where's the triangle? There? No, there. There's a lot of triangles on this ranch. So they've got to be out this side looking this way. Which means they're looking west. West. This is another house. This way. One that way. What's that one? Homestead 2. Wouldn't get a clear view of it. So it has to be this one over here. Looking west. So looking west. So the object appeared behind the mesa for the second UFO, which is all this here. Oh. So just close that one down. We know that's probably a weather balloon. It's pretty close to the airport. And it probably drifted along from the airport heading west. Right, get rid of that. Go. Probably should have saved some of these. It doesn't matter. I was going to add it to the fun now. Okay, so sort of getting understanding now. So they're close to the airport where they're going to be releasing weather balloons. But what else they got behind us here? Certainly a big chunk of land. Also looks like it's a major shopping centre there, by the looks of it. Behind Skinwalker Ranch. Well, this area here, which would also release weather balloons. Was there any other airports there? Looks mostly farmland, doesn't it? Dreamkeeper. Farmland, water, irrigation, which makes those circles. Would a farmer be releasing weather balloons? Looks like they got big water reserves there. That's all directly behind where they're filming. Reservation. And they've got this roadway around it. There's a lot of talk about the lights they see above the mesa actually being optical illusion of car headlights. With Fata Morgana, it's possible, I guess, where it seems to be hovering above the mesa and disappearing. Does the right weather conditions? I can see that now. Certainly lots of farmland there. What's that place there? What is that place? Almost looks like a government facility there. What is it? Sort of ends. That's interesting. The area is almost like Area 51. Yeah, let's go down here. What's this down here? Another farm? Dirt roads. Got a dirt road system there. Connects to a major road here. And we've got to zoom out. So all that's behind Skinwalker. And you've got all these roads on top of the mountain. There's that road again, highway, bending. So yeah, so that could explain some of this lights they're seeing. From this view, we don't get to see elevations Yeah, it's a major road coming through. Got this other one here. Looks like there's a tunnel. There is a damn tunnel, isn't it? It's a tunnel. Dot dot dot. Let's see. That's a tunnel, isn't it? Comes off this highway here. I thought dot 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 meant underground. Hey, is there a tunnel there? What I need to do is drop onto there. Why would there be a tunnel there? Railway system? Underground trains? I would have thought it would have gone through there. There's all the mountain range. What's dot 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 mean? Pretty sure it's tunnels. Or maybe it just means something else. What does dots on Google Maps mean? Maybe not dash. Maybe call it dashes. What am I doing? I mean, dots. Visitors places. No. Let's see, dashes maybe. Dotted line is not directions. It just indicates that you can't what? Dotted line is not direction. It just indicates you can't get to the destination by car. So it's brought you to the closest place, and you have to walk. Me thinking it's an underground tunnel. I thought, bingo. We've busted this one open. Let's see what that one says. Grey dotted line on Google Maps, man. That's what we're looking at though, isn't it? Grey dotted line on Google Maps. Does not know exactly how to get there. It's personally there. Okay. Just about checked it up. I'm pretty sure in the past it's been underground tunnels. That's a good question. Let's actually ask it that. What represents a tunnel? Damn it. Google Maps. Hey, we got a couple of people joining us. How's it going? Need to know if there's a tunnel given a route. What do the symbols on Google Maps represent? Tunnel view. Untitled layer. Navigation at work in more tunnels. Okay. Abandoned tunnels. That would be handy. I suppose someone has to do it, or a layer, and add it on as a KMZ file, whatever it is. So where are the tunnels then? Right. Between A and B, maybe? No, that's no good. Okay, images. That's not happening either. Just want to know the simple answer. Is that too much to ask for? Finding secret tunnels using Google. What year was that on? 2019. Sort of got sidetracked here for a minute. Who's put this one up?
Hello, glorious road.
See, that would make sense, you know. Tunnels like that under the mesa. I thought it was about Google Maps, not about fishing. So what's that got to do with it? Damn. That's so misleading. I thought we were going to get the answers then. I didn't actually answer tunnel view. Okay, let's have a look at that one. Untitled layer, so it must be something that someone's added on. Tunnel view. Where is the tunnel? Is it this one here? Don't know. Doesn't say tunnel. It says trail, which means ... is walking, isn't it? That's a long walk. Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating. Must be on that blue dot. Tunnel view. So it must be that white thing, is it? This thing here. This doesn't really help us much. So it must be added on. It's not part of Google. Wonder why. Okay, so there's a road that ends there, I guess. And then after that, they said shortest distance would be walking to get there. Or you can take this route here with the blue line, which is like a winding road from Denver Airport all the way through the mountains ridge there. Winding road, alright. That's a fair distance away then. Denver Airport is quite a... How long this is the distance? 6 hour, almost 7 hour drive on a winding road. But you can see it's almost parallel to the ranch. There's tunnels underground, could explain a lot. But anyway, we're not going to find out because Google's not going to tell us about missing underground tunnels. So yeah, we're trying to work out which way they're looking. Back onto it. I know the bulk of this one would be on Skinwalker investigation. See all these irrigations, those things that go around in circles, watering crops. Certainly, they must have a lot of underground water to do that. Skinwalker Ranch. That's a pretty big place, isn't it? And they've got a lake here, man-made lake, I guess. Feeds all these. And got little rivers. Okay, I gotta try to find that building again. UFO, what's that? UFO Valley. That's interesting. Never seen it before. Big circular paddock. Good for landing UFOs on. And there's a little dirt road that goes around the outside, is it? So there's a place called UFO Valley of all things. What's all this down here? Buildings, caravans, or trailers, as they call them. America. Campground, it says. So yeah, okay. Doesn't look like there's too many camping there though. Looks more like over here. Trailer parks right next to it. If that was a campground, you'd expect some buildings, wouldn't you? Like showers, toilets, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a big chunk of land there, isn't it? What's that there? Trees? Yep. Very strange. Okay, where's next to it? How far away from the ranch was that? There's some irrigation things. Maybe it's meant to be one of those. Yeah, they've got sprinkler system. Does look like it, doesn't it? That's what it is. So let's landing pads for lots of UFOs. So it's not too far away from Skinwalker Ranch, which is quite interesting. It's right over the mesa. So that just makes you wonder if it's something happening here on the campgrounds where they're releasing balloons and stuff. So I reckon they're filming that way, right? When he saw that balloon take off, it's coming from that campground. Starting to form together now, isn't it? Starting to make more sense what's going on there. So there's the triangle. There's where they're filming from. A safe distance from the rocket launch. But it makes you wonder if they've got all those trees there in the way. Because it looks like they're sitting outside here, doesn't it? I reckon they chopped down some of those trees since they're taking it over. What year? Do we know what the year map is? Could be shadows. Right, right. So... straight across. That's all shadow. Big tree here. Porch. Can you see any trees behind them? I think they've cut them down. He's wearing all black like the Satan. Okay, so if we rotate that around, looks like it might be not strictly behind on the house, so they got to be here where that shadow of the tree is. That makes sense, doesn't it? So they're here and they're looking this way. Let's zoom out. There, looking this way. And where's the triangle? There? No, there. Laser points would have been there, there, and there. Coming this way. So they're there with the bench. So on a slight angle. Are they on the slight angle there at all? Just look like it's on an angle, doesn't it? Slight angle, the bench is more on an angle here, so they've got to be facing it. Slight angle. Yep, and that'd be facing it directly at it. Okay, and now we've got our bearings. So when the UFO appears behind here where the campground is. So could they have released a Chinese lantern? Damn right they could have. So that's all behind. Now that makes more sense. Yeah, more and more I look into this, the more and more highly suspect of the show. That someone is at the campground, probably taking some orders from Discovery Channel. Release balloons now. I reckon it's all faked. So anyway, let's carry on analysing it. Get that idea there. So the first one definitely looks like a weather balloon. And he was coming down this road here. Heading towards, he was coming down here and got the rumble. And he saw that UFO go this direction. So that could have been from the airport, it could have been from the campground. And the other object could be also from the campground. And this object here. So let's just grab one of them. So that could be a fair distance away. And we know it's at 9:35. All this is reflection off the TV screen that they're filming off, playing back the video. Then they rotate it around to watch this moving away, which is upwards, gradually fade away. So let's grab one of those. Which one's the best one? Let's have a look at that one. Hour and a half on this sofa. Takes time to get your head around it all day. Because I never do any analysis on the show whatsoever. To try and debunk their own sighting. So this is the object this saying's moving. Okay, paste to a new image. Now, could be slightly out of focus. That's why it's got that ring-shaped hollow effect. Could be atmospherics. And we know we get that with stars and planets. So it could be just a damn balloon. There's the ring shape happening there. Okay, we need to zoom in even more. Let's have a look. So what could it be? So we said it could be iridium satellites, could be a drone, could be a balloon with LEDs on it inside, could be a Chinese lantern even, and it could be released from the thing. So in the video it was moving, come from behind, he said, and it was moving in this direction towards the triangle. And he said he wasn't sure where it come from, so the campground is actually on the angle there where it's coming from, and heading off upwards vertically that way. Now I thought, could it be just simply the International Space Station, which is normally low in the sky about that distance, just suddenly appear behind the mesa and travel on? It normally disappears within a minute to 4 minutes, depending what day it is, what orbit location it is. So I had a look for that information. Spotting International Space Station to see if any show up about 9:30. Now this is for this month, but I'd say it repeats every month, maybe slightly different earlier time. There's 10 PM. You can see it varies. Shows up multiple times every day. Friday, and then Saturday. 10 PM, Saturday, Sunday, 11 PM, Monday suddenly it goes to AM. So it's moving every 2 hours, is it? Monday, Tuesday. And there we go, I've got 9:27. It's close to the time that he calls them into the shack to view the video. 4 minutes, which is about the time it was on the screen. 10 degrees above the horizon, which looks like that in the video. Northwest. And on the map, it's northwest, isn't it? Let's have a look. Where's the map gone? I'll just get rid of that one. So north, that's north going this way. That's the east coast going that way. That's the west coast. So northwest, there you go. It's coming, showing up at northwest, which is exactly the direction on the video. Okay, let's see if anything else fits. And goes northeast. So it sort of went northwest, but it's going in the wrong direction, isn't it? Should be going northwest and then keep going northwest, but it's like northwest. Unless I'm misreading it. Let's see. What's the column titles at the top? Appears and disappears. It appears northeast. So it can't be the International Space Station then, can it? Mind you, I'm basing it on this month's ones. Is any that sort of goes northwest? I wouldn't think so, because it's like a sine wave, right? So it appears, goes around and goes back down this way. I think they're all northeast to northeast. And if you look on a compass, did I get a picture of a compass? Points of a compass, here we go. That's what we wanted. So that's northeast, so it must be in between. That there, northeast. Northeast. And that's coming from northwest. Goes there and travels this direction. So that's left to right. So it can't be an International Space Station in that case, can it? Damn, it looks so good at that time, doesn't it? 9:30. So it's got to be something else. There's because to be still, if they were facing it the other direction, still wouldn't be right, would it? So we can rule out International Space Station. Unless there's a southeast one. East, northeast. There's a hang on. There is a west, northwest one. Maybe we can't rule out at space station. We need to know what date that was filmed in. Then we could rule it out. Still could be the space station then. So it appeared northwest and went west north west, didn't it? Which would fit in with that one there. Let's just keep going through it. So, yeah, how do we get a map? We might be able to look at it map-wise. International Space Station. Tracking. Let's have a look at the live one. Is that live? Here we go. So, it's definitely appearing from northwest, which is where they're looking. There's a slight angle going right over top of them. There's northeast there. It's on that curve there, but you can see it varies between distances compared to be west and south of the ranch. But again, it looked like the light was going this direction, not this way. So I can't really see how it could be a space station. But it's worth investigating it. So this is why they need to use the apps, you see. And on the show, they don't... He puts up the video, but he doesn't show the planes, whereabouts the planes were, how far away the planes were. See, even a plane from... On that night, it was pretty clear, right? With lights of a plane, and about 100 miles away, you'd see that as a little speck flying from behind the mesa, heading upwards and turning away. It'd fade away, wouldn't it? Comes up from the mesa, then heads away. The lights are gonna fade. If it's like 100 miles away. So it still could be a plane too. How far? So they're filming it on camera. How far can a camera no zoom? No zoom. See plane. Well, a jet, as to say. Have we got any answers? Okay, a drone camera. Had to spot a drone at night. Yeah, it didn't look like he had it zoomed. It looks like it was just caught a normal camera. So it's not helping us. How far can you see jet plane? They didn't see it with their eyes at night time. How can a human eye see a plane in the sky without clouds, which it was? It's easy 100 k's, I'd say. What they're saying here, it's limited by the angular resolution of the eye, which is 02 degrees. It's 0.3 meters at 1 kilometer distance. What's that mean? If the plane's wingspan is 15 meters, then average person should be able to see it at 45 kilometers. 15 meters. Is that a regular jet? Doesn't sound very much. I suppose it would be a regular jet. Even 45 kilometers. That could not tell if it was a plane. Just a faint dot. "45 kilometers. Yeah, sure, a camera could see it at 100. And if it's a massive contrail, if it makes a massive contrail that glows, you could see that with your eyes at 100 kilometers quite easily, I'd say. So, short answer, 375 kilometers or 232 miles. Oh, what's this specialist amateur? Okay, obviously because of so many variables. So that's a major difference from 45 kilometers then. So who's correct? Service, how big, what altitude flight plane is. It's difficult to have. Well, I'll just take the average flight of a cruising jet plane, which is like 30,000 feet, right? How far is it possible to see a common passenger jet? Assuming the horizon is very clear, because remember they got the traffic controller to divert all planes around Skinwalker Ranch while they're firing rockets. So that would have to be a fairly good sizable distance of at least 50 to 100 kilometers, wouldn't it? Jet planes cruises at 11,000 meters or 37,000. So he's doing the correct one. From geometry results, maximum distance at which you can see until plane drop below horizon is around 232 miles. Of course, the plane is too small to see, but you can see the contrail, which is what I said. In this case, we're not looking at the contrail, we just want to know the lights. Can you see the lights? Distance is theoretical limit. Maximum distance I have really seen a plane was around 200 kilometers tracking with a telescope. Okay, so he's looking through a telescope. That sort of changes it. And one normal eyesight. Then we can relate it to camera, because camera will be able to see it a lot better. So, has that really answered it? No, not really. Okay, let's have a look at this guy's answer. You see, on land, we can see about 5 kilometers standing on flat land, while standing on the bench looking out to sea. If you climb higher, it gets much longer. Climb. Horizon extends to 200 kilometers. The moon is pretty visible, right? It's 384,000 kilometers away. The sun is 152 million. That doesn't really answer it either, does it? Okay, depends a bit on the plane size, altitude. This guy looks like he's similar to the first one, 50 miles. So I think that's more correct. I think the human eyesight could see 50 miles. Looking at the airplanes landing at the airport, that would be 80 kilometers. That would be about 50 miles. You could just barely see dots. Yeah, I reckon 50 mils is about right with eyesight. With camera, 100 mils. So it could easily have been plane in that case. How far can a human eye see from a window seat on a plane at... He's doing a different thing. We weren't on the ground, mate, not on the air. This guy's talking about looking at star systems. And they get too complicated, some of these guys, and they go all wrong. Jet routes. That would be good, actually, to see the plane flight paths over Skinwalker Ranch. I wonder if we can find that out. Jet routes. Or routes. Over actually over Denver. That's probably more likely to have airports. Have we got some maps of that? There you go. There's the main ones on Denver Airport, I guess. Does it look like in the right location? So you can see those routes are going in that direction of that last sighting. See that? It's definitely going northwest to northwest. Exactly in the video. That one there, look. Flying off from the airport. I reckon they saw a plane. They saw the back lights of it. 9:30. I wish we had a date to go on. We could confirm it then. There you go, Denver Airport, it says. Their main routes. And it's definitely in the direction they're looking. Appear to be behind the mesa. So we can rule out an International Space Station, but we can't rule out a plane. And planes look very low down on the horizon, as you remember. They look about 10 degrees, which would be on that video, that'd be the right height. So yeah. That's why the show is misleading. So the plane takes off from the airport. So where's the airport again? We've just seen the map of the flight paths. Here's the airport. We saw the plane flight path to go overseas is that route there, which is where they're looking, and that's where the UFO come from. Weather balloons and planes from the airport. And we can't rule out the camping ground for other balloons and stuff. It seems like the perfect location to release a bunch of balloons and hope it heads over Skinwalker Ranch for the filming of it. Okay, so we can move on from there now. So Oh, looks like I already had a map up. See, I must have been thinking the same way. Okay, what was I looking at there? Skinwalker Ranch, right, yeah. Looks like I already had a map up. It doesn't matter repeating it. Like I said, I was doing some preliminary research on this before the show. So it doesn't make it too long-winded. But you can see all the things I have to go through. So at this moment, it could be a distant plane which we can't see. The strobe lights just gradually moving further away from them, and it fades away. And it's out of focus because you're getting the ring pattern. So you've noticed he said on other shows, it could be optical illusion. Remember the double slit experiment, when stuff's out of focus. Ring pattern optics. Let's see. Ring pattern optics artifact. Camera artifact. Now you can see it with your eyes too, I guess. If it happens in the atmosphere and you're seeing it. Interference pattern. A lot of technical science stuff to all this. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about, interference patterns. Where light interferes with itself, and that's what you see in the sky. Here you go. Right. Where's it disappeared to? Over there. There's what we're looking at, right? That's exactly what we're looking at on the screen. Creates a little hole in the middle where it's the middle one's in focus, the other two are not, or the atmosphere bends the light, making it out of focus, and creates the hole. So it can be done on the camera side, because we actually were watching it on the camera, so we don't know if the camera was slightly out of focus. They didn't see it with their eyes, so they didn't say they had a hole in it, so we have to assume it's on camera that it wasn't quite in focus, slightly out. But there you go. Interference patterns of beams carrying topical change. Scientific. So light moves in a sine wave, right? So when you get two sine waves that interfere with each other, you're going to get amplification in one direction and cancellation in the other. So this is why you get dark and black ridges, right? You may have learnt it in school. And here's what they're trying to show you here, I think. Anyway, it gets a bit technical. But you can create interesting patterns. So let's see. Starlight out of focus. We're going to find a few examples. Bokeh. I want a star that's out of focus. What have we got? Is that one there? It's not a very good example. This bokeh. Oh, here we go. There's a star that's out of focus. I think, let's have a look. Cross star, out of focus star images. There you go. Looks exactly what we're seeing on the video, right? Exactly the same. So it's just a point of light. Could be off a plane. So that's my feeling. It's a plane that's on that flight path that's moving away. So that's my conclusion on this one, as best I can get it. Breaking it all down. Common sense, really. I suppose I should have really saved that for fun now. That's quite a good one. What's going on? Japing, that'll do. Untitled. Suppose we should look at some other UFO stuff. How are we going for time? Yeah, we've got some time. Okay. What's dinner time though? I started late. Oh yeah, still got half an hour or so. Yeah, that'll do. So give up on the Skinwalker Ranch stuff now. Everything I've debunked, everything they've had on their show I've debunked. But they have everybody believing it's supernatural or UFOs, unfortunately. Okay. Moving on. Disappointing, really, isn't it? You think of all those experts that they have someone like me that's sort of piecing it all together. And so, you know, if it wasn't on a flight path, we can then say, oh, no, it can't be a plane, because it's not on a standard flight path. You know, they may have diverted the traffic that any other traffic, like small planes that flew over the Skinwalker Ranch, but the commercial jets are far enough away, and they're not going to divert them. So, and the other stuff is still yet to process there, but we've got plenty of other stuff to look at. We've got Tyler. Points of a compass. Okay, so I've got Tyler stuff. I got GUFON stuff. Okay, so we'll do with GUFON first and then wrap up on Tyler, I think. So what was it on GUFON now? Let me just refresh my memory. Just to get the volumes correct. That should be good enough. Kyle, how's it going? As the aliens coming to Earth. I think they've probably been here for a long time. Since you got to remember that most of the planet's water, so you know where's the best place to be? In an underground sea base. If you got the technology for it. So I think they've been around for a long time. In fact, they might even be. Some theory thinks they might be humans that went underground, or actually could breathe water, and actually built cities deep under sea where we don't actually go. And those UFOs just might be their submarines, right? They can go into air as well. Why haven't they interfered with us? Well, maybe they are. People are getting abducted, right? So maybe they are investigating us now. Now they're sending out teams from undersea to investigate us. So it's a bit like, what's the H.G. Wells sci-fi movie, where humans develop underground and they turn into these beasts with the big eyes. And they feed on human flesh. Remember that? That's a great movie. The original. 1967, is it? The original. Anyway, move on to GUFON as we run out of time. So yeah, this is why we study this thing, is to figure out what paranormal is and what aliens really are. And could there be any truth to it? Religious people will say they're demons and angels because it's in the Bible, blah blah blah. But we got to remember, ancient people had less science knowledge, so they interpret it religiously rather than scientifically. So it gets a bit more messy and complicated. So what they saw may have been real scientific events, or something natural even, and it was recorded as optical illusion of some sort. So yeah, this is why we're in this, because it should be taken as a serious field of study, and to see how we can be so easily mistaken. Is it going to be like Independence Day when the aliens wanted to kill us? Well, some think so, but I don't think so. Listening to various people that are in the know, Earl Grey's mum is one of them, that worked in the underground base, right? Saw a presentation. And after seeing the Star Wars movie, she made a funny comment that I wouldn't be surprised if the universe is really like that, with different races of aliens fighting. So, like us, there's good and bad in the human race. There's always those that want to fight and kill and take over. And there's the other side of humans that don't want to do that, and just want to live in peace and live long and prosper. Right, so human, why wouldn't aliens be the same? Good and bad in each of the same race. So you probably have aliens that come here that want to do harm, and you got aliens that will help defend. A bit like United Nations is for Ukraine, right? Where the countries get together and help them with weapons or whatever. So, yeah. And let's face it, if they're flying through space, they're way ahead of us. That means they can have superior weapons where they can destroy us within a blink of an eye. They could do that quite easily just by dropping asteroids from space onto the planet. Creates like nuclear explosions from the impact energy, but it doesn't have the radiation. And then that kills off most of the planets. Creates stuff in the atmosphere for many years, so all the plants die, so there's no plants, there's no food for animals. And there's no animals for humans to eat, blah blah blah. So, yeah. Unless you move underground, of course. But anyway, let's get on to GUFON. And I just want to debunk a few things that he's showing.
Yeah, I'd find it. Check this out. This is unreal.
But I think if aliens were that dangerous, something would have happened way long time ago by now. Back in the 1950s, 60s by now. So I think there might be maybe an alien race that's looking after us. And there are bad aliens that come here and abduct and do things illegally. And the government knows about it and can't tell you because it will scare the whole world that we can't be defended against. So aliens can come and do whatever they want. But it's so random, isn't it? Millions of people and only a few see them. Thousands see them every year. So it's not that common. So maybe the air defense, the Space Force, is part of it, is defending against the bad aliens. Where the other ones want to leave us alone and develop at our own pace. But humans will probably want, military, aggressive humans will want the technology that aliens have for weapons. So yeah, let's carry on.
I don't know if this fell from the Earth or fell from space. What did I just say? Fell from Earth? That was a misspeak. Here we go.
I have no knowledge of how the sphere itself happened to be in the place where I found it. As I've stated previously, when I found...
Okay, so this is the so-called UFO sphere, right? So it's not that big. Now, he claimed it had some strange properties, that they put it on a table and it rolled around the limb outside of the table but wouldn't fall off. And also put it on the floor to roll around in different directions. Now, it was investigated, and you can see on the video that the table had a sort of lip on the outer edge of it. Like a marble would go to the edge and it would roll around the outside of the table, right? So this thing here had a couple of balls inside, which were obviously counterbalancing it, right? And so this Betz ball, as they called it, would roll to the edge of the table, and then the table, the inside lip, which is very hard to see, kept it rolling around on the outside of the table until it ran out of energy. But it turned out that they measured the floor of the house and it wasn't even level. So as it rolled around, it probably gained speed and then rolled up again, so it could look like it had intelligence. Now, I heard from a credible source that Paul Hynek, the son of Mr. Hynek, he got the ball and had it stored in the basement. They would go down and play around with it like a soccer ball and drop it on the floor and stuff, and it would have dents on it, so eventually when they moved house, it eventually got thrown out into the trash. So it wasn't anything special. So what is it though? What is it? It's actually a man-made object used in the oil mining industry, and it was put inside pipes, and it's what they call a ball valve, and it uses magnets to move up. So if you've got a pipe coming this way, it's inside the pipe, you would have your electronics up here, would lift up the ball out of the pipe and allow oil or gas or whatever to flow without creating a spark. So I still got that open. Now, I've explained this before many times. I've researched it as well. There's a lot of nonsense in ufology, and GUFON is the one that's promoting it still. So you have your pipe here, right? Could be oil, could be gas, and then you have your ball that moves up into an opening here with electromagnetics would lift it up or force it down back into the pipe to block off the flow. So Sickle we want. Sickle, sickle, sickle. Okay. So as you can see, there's not going to let anything get much around the outside. So pretty much you got zero flow. And that would go up here. And you have your you have the magnets, electronics up there. So what that would do is that would go up here, out the way. Alright. It will be forced down to block it off again. So that's how it ends up being a bullcock valve. So it stops the flow. And rather than having a physical valve, you can control it electronically. So if you got too much oil flow from the ground coming upwards, they could put that halfway down and slow the flow going through this way. So that's what it's used for, controlling the speed of flow of oil, of water, of oil, I mean, coming this way, and you get less coming this way, because it's only can go around the outside. Fill up there, probably, as well. Fill up there, because the ball's not up there, so it comes back around the ball, around this way. If that makes sense. So that's what you're looking at. How did it end up in that guy's possession? He found it laying next to the road in his garden, you know, like a driveway, I guess. Apparently some art collector was collecting these from the rubbish dump. The mining industry dumps them when they break up the pipes or whatever, or move stuff and put new in instead. These obviously maybe even slightly corrode and not a really tight fit anymore. So yeah, so he managed to collect a dozen of them or whatever it is, stuck it in the back of the lorry, and he went over a bump and that one jumped out the back of the truck. And you know, one of those flat level trucks, like what they call it, utes in New Zealand. What they call them over there, flatbed truck, bounced out the back onto the road, rolled into his garden, and started playing around with it. Of course, they didn't know what it was. They thought it was from outer space. But anyway,
Found it. It was on top of the ground. It was not embedded. I saw no charred marks, no big indentations in the ground. In fact, it looks as if someone had taken it and set it in the spot. But as to how it got there, I, nor anyone else I know, has any knowledge of this.
I understand it moves around the table and won't fall off the edge.
Wow, look at
okay,
that.
so they're talking about the table, moving around the table. But when Hynek investigated it, or someone else did, since they realised that it wasn't level, and it wasn't quite as they said.
The National Enquirer Blue Ribbon Panel of UFO investigators with J. Allen Hynek.
Like Dr. Harder, who's our scientific expert.
Look at it. Hynek was just staring at the ball. He's staring at this thing going, how did this guy fake this? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like somebody made this thing. This guy said it, found it in his house just sitting there.
Our scientific expert to say more about that.
That looks man-made, yes?
Duh.
Yeah, that would.
It's pretty wild stuff. All right, let's look at the next video on this. I'll put the links to these videos in the show description. I'm going to start doing show chapters so you guys can find things a little
You mean like me?
Presenting him with the sphere. Anger described.
Okay, so this is where other channels just taken onto it. So the real facts, and you get all this nonsense.
So you don't have to sit through an entire hour and a half, 2 hours.
Seasoned photographer, Lon Anger, to get the story and snap a few pictures. The skeptical Anger dutifully accepted the assignment, but secretly feared he might be stepping into a den of crackpots. He would abandon that theory soon enough. When Anger arrived at the Betz home, he was eagerly greeted by Jerry, who wasted no time in presenting him with the sphere. Anger described the moment for the 1974 edition of the St. Petersburg Times. "I'm leery of this kind of thing. When I got there, Mrs. Betz said, 'You won't believe this if you don't see it.'" This was when Jerry instructed the still dubious Anger to give the ball a little shove across the floor. Here's the
Okay, so it didn't move on its own energy, right? They had to shove it.
event in Anger's own words. "She told me to put it on the floor and give it a push.
Okay, you got to remember these spheres inside, which I'm not sure if they're fixed or moving, or have some kind of movement, but they're sort of like counteractive. To sort of dampen the movement, which is what they use in the ball valve mining.
It rolled a ways and stopped. "So what?" she said. "Just wait a minute." It turned by itself and rolled to the tight about 4 feet. It stopped. Then it turned again and rolled to the left. Oh, it turned to the right. And then it stopped, turned to the left, and rolled to the left about 8 feet. Made a big arc.
So it's got that gyro effect of the counterweights inside it, making it move like that.
And came back right to my feet. Wow.
Wow, man.
Storm was ignited. Reporters from such prestigious publications as the New York Times, the London Daily, and dozens of other people. It means nothing to people.
To make money off it, right. Yeah, so basically that's what I put up here. That's what I just told you, everything. But you can read it there as well. All is not what it seems at first. Why won't it close? Don't know. Well, now. Okay, the second part. What else did he say on that day?
We came to Fort George Island to get away. So maybe it's got a left brain and a right brain.
They also concluded that their shell.
So he's just adding to the noise there.
All of the orb was approximately 1/2 an inch thick, which, according to the report, could withstand a pressure.
Which means you got high pressure pipes, right? So you want it to be fairly strong.
Of 120.
You can say, well, how do they weld this up? 2 halves. Really clever welding by some specialist. And then grind it down, make it nice and smooth. So it looks like one piece. Would have had a hole cut in it with the things inserted inside, and then the hole would have been sealed over and also then buffed over, so you wouldn't even know there was any seam or a hole there.
20,000 pounds per square inch, and made of stainless steel, specifically magnetic ferrous alloy number 431. This alloy is a magnetic
Bingo, it is a magnetism.
nickel-bearing stainless steel designed for heat treatment to the highest mechanical properties and corrosion resistance.
Wow.
The Navy
Which you need for mining.
team's powerful 300 kV X-ray also discovered 2 round objects inside the sphere, surrounded by a halo made of a material with an unusual density.
Shut up.
Ugh. Have
So
a
there's
puff of
two
your,
spheres
have a puff of your weed, mate. Have a smoke of your buds.
inside the sphere that are encased in something.
You science.
So maybe it's got a left brain and a right brain. What if that thing is the... Oh,
Or no
shit.
brain is more like GUFON. Get out of here, man.
What if
See,
it's
he
alive?
doesn't understand it.
No, hear me out. What if it's a being from another planet?
Oh my god.
It encased
What
itself
an idiot.
in something like that to keep it safe? And maybe these are the balls of light people see?
And this is meant to
Maybe
be
when it's up-
truth and ufology. He's far gone. Theory's crazy. So he's misleading everybody there. Okay, on to the next misleading thing.
The St. Petersburg Times, I'm leery of this kind of thing.
Damn it. Where was the next one? I was going to find it.
When you get spit out the other end, like they're a fact, and
What was it now? It was a case. The Puerto Rico case. Whereabouts is he showing it here? Okay, this one here, right? I covered it so many times now. So you can see what he's going to say about it. So he's saying it's the best UFO case. I debunked this years ago, and Mick West has debunked it too, and another military guy debunked it. So
stupid copy.
So let's just
You'll hear
recap on that.
I told you I wasn't going to spend much time on it.
Now he's repeating the same bullshit lies as the other ufologists out there.
It is not a balloon.
No, it's not a balloon.
It really isn't.
And the speed is also parallax, so it looks like it's going faster than it really is. But like the rubber ducky balloon.
Oh my god, I'm going to kill myself. I am literally going to do it.
That's sort of a mental comment to make, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Alright, here we go.
Why would you make that comment while looking at this video? It does make sense. Are you reading something in the side chat, is he? Okay, so what this is actually two fire balloons in the shape of a heart. And they're sort of attached together and drifting together. So you're only seeing one, but the other one's next to it. So it's actually quite wide. But you don't see that until it starts rotating a bit near the end. Now, as it rotates, the heat signature changes. So as it's going over the sea, as it rotates at the same time, the thermal camera can't see it anymore because the heat difference has changed to the background. And it keeps on rotating, but you can't see it, and then it suddenly pops up. They're still tracking where it should be, and then it pops up exactly in the eyesight again, so you'll see that happen. And then what happens is the tether between the two fire balloons breaks apart. But you got to remember, fire balloons only have a burn time of 12 to 15 minutes, I think it is. So it turns out there was a wedding party that actually released the fire balloons that day, which some researcher verified, and found out there was a wedding party not that long ago, and it's drifting along with the winds, and the Coast Guard helicopter sees it on their thermal, tracks it. So it's not a real UFO, it's just fire balloons. And when it rotates out, you can actually see the heart shapes. And it's been verified. They did release heart-shaped fire balloons, or Chinese lanterns, if you want to call them. So this one, we'll just zoom in.
I don't know how fast. I don't think it's going.
Anyone that's saying that's UFO still shills. I know there's a lot of shills in ufology. There's one guy that said that they were seeing UFOs enter the sea off the coast there, in and out, blah blah blah, and it's the same thing. I call that nonsense.
Going that fast. But that is not a balloon. I've recorded balloons a lot, and they just don't go this great distance like this at this speed, whether it's 20, 30, 15 miles an hour, consistently in a straight line, like it knows where it's going. It is going somewhere.
It's not in a straight line. If you see the actual path, it follows the coastline, curves around a bit. But anyway, we're not going to go all into that again. This guy's just wrong with his information. So it's not a balloon, but it's a Chinese lantern, which is similar to a balloon, but it's lifts up by the heat of the air from a candle inside. Well, oil burning that only burns for a certain length of time, which is 15 minutes.
That's not the ocean right there, though, that it went by.
Yeah, that looks like the oceans there.
Right?
Okay, you can start to see it rotating now, and you can see it's not a round shape anymore. And it kind of looks like a heart shape form in there. But that's two heart shapes together, which is a bit confusing. And you can see it rotating back around. You can see the heart shape now.
It's going to go in the water here. Look,
So he's saying it's going underwater. That's because he doesn't understand.
I think it does.
And you can see it's definitely a heart shape there with another heart shape behind it, which makes it less heart shapey. Oh, and it rotated, and the camera lost it. Wonder why? Because the heat signature is now on the thin side of the two balloons, where it's cooler. It's still there. Probably that fainted little dot there, is it? Yeah, look, you can see a little fainted dot. Really just barely. There it is. I think it's just overtaken, isn't it? Yeah. There it comes.
I want to say...
It's rotated back around again, and now the camera can see it again because there's enough thermal signature.
Hey, it looks like there is some water spray coming off.
Water spray. It's no way near. You can see it's still there, but it's really hard to see it because of the temperature is different on each side.
Doesn't it? But I really do think that goes in the water. I used to say it doesn't.
No. Doesn't go in the water. In fact, the candles are probably gone out now.
I think that is going in the water. This one really shows.
See, the candles went out. That's why it got cooler and cooler and harder to see.
It's gone. Watch.
Rotated, got cooler, but then it pops
Just
out.
disappear. Watch this right here.
The break pops up again. That's because it's rotated around again, and then it breaks apart. And you see the two heart-shaped balloons. There you go. Two Mickey Mouse ears, right? And
that was interesting.
I think the flame is dying on it now.
Touch the water, I think.
And eventually
it
disappears.
Broke. Watch. Damn, right there.
Broke. So he's meant to be like a UFO expert. No way is he an expert. So easy when you know what's going on.
And then it broke in two. That's not balloon.
You can see the other one, they're starting to fade now.
Sorry. It's
They're
just
rotating
not.
still.
This is something that we don't know. This is a real UFO.
Getting smaller,
Look
getting
at it.
further away.
Watch, it's going to disappear forever here.
And now they've gone out. Not sure how long they were filming it for though. Must be close to the fire balloon limit though. Oh, yeah, so just need to recap on that one because he's promoting fake news again on it. And is that what I said here? Oh no, that's on Tyler. Okay, so last of all we'll look at Tyler's stuff and break it down. Hey, we got Donald Trump joining us. Donald Trump time traveling. What? What's that? Drone. No, it's not a drone. I just explained it. It's 100% two fire balloons that were released from a wedding party, which was confirmed. And that actually happened 20 minutes before the end of that video. So, on to Tyler's stuff. Has thirdphase put up anything since we last looked as well? Oh yeah, looks like they got something. Is there anything useful? What is NASA hiding from us? What garbage are they on about? We'll just have a quick look.
Phase of Moon, Blake Cousins here.
What's up, Duck?
We're on location. We're doing it live. Welcome, everybody. We see you guys piling in the flat.
Yeah, they got nothing better to do. They don't want to learn the truth. Then join thirdphase
Here in Morro Bay. But guys, I want to get your opinions. What is this? We see these spotlights hitting out of the portholes of a craft right there over the major city. Guys.
Okay, is it illumination flares?
What are we looking at here? Hey Stargazer, how's it going? Thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon. Appreciate it.
Seems to have like so we got no reference point, whether that's low on the ground or high up in the air. Seems to have like a strobing effect happening.
Now, guys, I want to get your thoughts. What are we looking at in this video? Again, these spectacular lights coming out of a craft. Is this some kind of massive hoax?
Just look like it's got a smoky trail around it.
Or is this something that we can't explain, a genuine UFO?
So it could be a combination of things. It could be illumination flares and that there. Could it be like an air show with skydivers and they got a lantern that rotates around on top of their head or something? Pyro skydivers? So we got no reference to it. Whereabouts is it? Looks like it's above a city there, which could easily be pyro skydivers.
So guys, we actually have, what I like about it is that we have even more videos captured by more eyewitnesses. We got a second camera angle.
Second camera angle coming up. What are we saying here? What's your debunk on the techie video? Well, if you search my videos, you'll get the answer. It was a hoax. Wild Build. I get a kick out of these guys. Yeah, they make you laugh. That's about it. They try so hard. So hard what? Acting? Because they are actors, aren't they? Film producers. The techie video was actually internal camera. And the alien heads were actually little screws. And as he was flexing, they looked like they were moving. That's why the craft is a funny shape. It looks like the edge of a telephoto lens, and that's been cropped off because that's the way they had misfitting lenses. But you can go and see my breakdown of it and overlaying the images of the camera parts. Matches up with the holes. But yeah, that's what it was, and it was good enough to fool me for a while until I learnt more, found out more about cameras, and saw a picture of what they were using. Got to remember though, there was that one with Dr. Lear, but there was also other images of lights and things moving in the sky. That was a combination of different things, planes, high mast lights, city lights on the far side of the port, and also wind farm apparently was over the other side. So yeah, and just the right weather conditions, Fata Morgana, because it's over the sea there, creates the right effect, right, and a lot of hype and all that sort of stuff. Yes, try so hard to convince their followers. Yes, 90% clips they show sucky. Yes, they either show CGI, which they've made some themselves. That's hoaxes, and also mundane things like flares and balloons and whatnot. So this is probably what this one is.
This is what I like, when we have a trifecta effect of some kind of phenomenon in the sky, but then we have at the same
What? I'm online.
Eyewitnesses down on the ground shooting it from different angles, thus proving that this isn't any kind of trickery. Whatever it is, it's up there and it's high in the sky. Let's roll the second video, guys. Take a look at this.
Okay, what are we looking at here? It's got to be some sort of aerial event, right? It was the same as the first one. Blurfo, out of focus. Now, got to remember this is in California, San Diego. That's probably looking out to sea, isn't it? So it could be a false horizon thing where that's actually on the water. Could be some Coast Guard thing happening. And helicopters. Okay, so it might not be way up in the sky there. It might actually be helicopters hovering over the sea. And it's really hard to tell. You can see here it's got different layers, tones in the video itself. Not the best quality video as such, is it? What else can we do with it? Not that one. Let's see what that shows us. That's a little bit better. But now we're seeing colours of houses. So could that be the sea behind? Looking from a hill on the opposite side. So obviously they're high up on a mountain. Well, maybe not a mountain, but a hill. Filming down onto the city there. Is it going downwards at all? Which would make it pyrotechnics.
We can see it just hovering over the town there again.
So that kind of reminds me of that Olympic event that took place where they had actually a UFO model with lights blinking on it. But what year was this? So almost looks like it. I wonder if Scott Brando has looked at this one. Let's just check. What's he think? Definitely not UFOs, so it's obviously man-made or something going on here. Hubble. So they're all caught up on this James Webb thing at the moment. And nothing new on that one. So he hasn't added to it. So yeah. This is probably recycled, like we found out last time with the other video.
A brilliant display of lights. I don't blame the people on the ground for pulling out their cameras and trying to...
In fact, that could even be a blimp, couldn't it, over a stadium? It's got the blimp shape to it now, hasn't it? Now I've run it through some filters.
Get this on camera.
And that's why it's got a rotating light.
Again, more angles of the same craft up there, illuminated. Again, I'm not seeing any kind of tampering with it.
See, it's got blinking lights on it there too.
This video, I believe whatever it is, it's up there and it's quite large. I'd have to estimate from...
So I'm heading now towards that being a blimp. Probably a Goodyear blimp or something like that used for a football stadium.
What we're seeing here, approximately maybe a...
Probably got some advertising rolling around it where people can read as they get closer to the stadium. So and so versus so and so tonight.
100 to 150 feet in length, approximately there, I'm saying. But again, guys, any ideas what this is? We see that Mike Tags says that's wild.
No,
this was captured in Colombia just the other day. Brent's giving me some information as we're rolling this right now live.
Colombia. So we know they do have a lot of balloons and blimps. Colombia. Do they have Goodyear blimp down that far? Blimp. Colombia? What, South America, or is that the American one? We got caught on that one before, haven't we? Depends how you spell it. I can't remember which one was which now. Glum. One spelled with an O, one spelled with a U. Well, definitely it's in Colombia. Goodyear blimp. But that's America, isn't it? What's the other one? Goodyear blimp. Airship Columbia. So there you go. Fleet of airships. So they found in both those locations then. Columbia air blimp. 192 feet, which is what he's saying, 150. There you go. All sort of fits, doesn't it? With the rotating lights. That's night time. That's it. On the outside of the blimp, there you go. I saw a blinking light there. That's really old footage. So I think that's what it is. So let's move on, I guess. Yeah, obviously haven't done much research on it.
Third phase of moon.
Let's move on. It's obviously an airship.
Putting it up here, we're trying to figure out what this possibly...
You haven't done anything, not just the talk guy. I've done more in the last few minutes than you have, Blake.
And let's kick the press out. We don't want the press seeing any of this. This sounds kind of weird because NASA, you work for us, guys. Why are you hiding things from the public? What's so above top secret that you're only showing the president and not us, the public? Guys, here, take a look. This is crazy.
First image.
They're going back about.
So what are they talking about here? Deep field view of Hubble, was it? No, they're talking about James Webb. So what are they telling us? Don't know what he's on about.
Time for the press to leave, and then we'll continue the briefing.
European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency. So this is an international endeavor.
It's amazing. I wonder what the press like in those other places.
Time for the press to leave, and then we'll continue.
I don't understand what that's about.
Time for the press to leave, and then we'll continue.
When, you know, they're releasing these kind of incredible images, obviously they may have captured something that could prove that we're not alone. And they're
he's just doing a filler. Okay, anything else with UFOs in it? Okay. What are we looking
Is there
at
a
now?
lightning storm going on while this particular atmospheric phenomenon is happening? What are we looking at? It's maybe some kind of a drone display. I'm trying to figure out, but
I'll do some research on it then, mate. So let me do it for you.
a portal possibly.
A portal.
The Wet Life thinks it's swamp gas. Oh, okay, yeah, if that's what you think, man, you're real. You're onto something there. I think that's swamp gas, bro. Right on. Appreciate your. I guess he's laughed major out loud. I guess he's kidding. Yeah, I don't think it's swamp gas, buddy. Or Venus. Let's see. Project Bluebeam is the guy, the Great Pilgrim.
That's just another fake news. Bluebeam. So what is it? Well, could be anything really, couldn't it? Could be if someone flying one of those lead kites. Blinking lights. It's anything like that, really. Drones. So it's a nonsense video. Show us the classic silver UFO, Blake. Show us some real stuff. Anyway, we're finished with him. Let's move on to the secure team. They're just putting up any garbage because they ain't got much to go on. Wild Bill. What do we got? I wasn't keeping an eye on the side chats much. Let's have a look. Donald Trump. Thanks for joining us. Who else we got? Wild Bill. Sad reality, if you spent your time convincing us the mundane is extraordinary life. Most of YouTubers covering UAP, you would have many followers. Yeah, if I talked up to crap rather than tell the truth. But I have got some real footage, as far as I'm concerned, that I can't debunk. Unless more information comes to light, which changes my opinion on it. So, yeah, they're on my homepage, one of them anyway. But there is a playlist, the best UAP evidence, with some other footage that we got that the guy won't release publicly. We only got 2 frames of the high quality, which shows the classic flying saucer. So there is some real stuff out there, but these guys haven't got it, and they would love to get their hands on it so they can make money of it. So thanks for what you're doing. There are very few of you. Yep, we're dying off. People, good show tonight. Hey, Mr. G, you've been lurking. You joined us a wee bit late. I spent probably 2 hours on Skinwalker Ranch trying to figure it out. But yeah, this is how you do live research and live debunks anyway. I'm sort of skimming over it now, but the Skinwalker Ranch, I did spend a bit of time on it. Thanks for your support and joining us at the last minute anyway. A little late tonight, yeah. I thought I was late. I started at 2:30 and it's now coming up to 5:30, which I ain't got much time left. So let's have a look at Tyler's latest and work it out. I'll just minimize that back down a bit. So, you know how I was mocking him? I'm sure he watches my show. I'm sure he's paranoid what this small channel is revealing. And so he's taken his camera this time on his 100th holiday this year to the beach side and actually started filming dots in the sky himself. Unfortunately, not following my method of analysing it real time with using the apps of Heavens Above webpage and Flight Radar and all that sort of stuff. So he hasn't explained anything in the video apart from calling it UAPs, because everything is unknown until you analyse it and figure it out. So again, it's just fooling his followers. I got it muted. That's pretty bad, I suppose. Okay, so this is him with his, what is it, Sonic's color night vision camera that you can hook up to record what you're seeing at the same time. $1,200 camera, a US camera or whatever it is. Bill, cool, I will check out your playlist. That sounds very interesting. Yeah, there's some real stuff out there. It's just very hard to find it. A lot of people are too scared to release their best footage. I don't know. Men in Black. As we found out, or I found out myself and other people, that once you've captured stuff that they don't want you to see, it gets corrupted. It vanishes, gets deleted. It's like they got backdoors into everything, like cameras and computers, and they can delete it off the memory cards. But yeah, it's kind of strange. We also got a playlist there of members' own personal stories. Some of them are really interesting. And also you got a playlist of my own experiences. So this debunker also has experiences. This is why we're in it. We're trying to get rid of the noise so we can focus on the real evidence. And the real evidence is harder to get because we've found out because things get corrupted or simply doesn't record. Oddly. So, we'll just zoom into that. So this is what he's filmed. Let's analyse it. Because he went off. Okay, so suddenly something's appeared bright enough so the camera sensor can detect it. So it might be something that's heading towards him. And then turning.
No.
So it's turning, coming towards it, and then turning to the left, I guess.
That's moving. Well.
Okay, so could that be a plane simply coming in?
Oh.
You can see the pulse in there as it's moving. I think I saw a bit of red there, like the strobe light. I would say that's a plane. And he's not using the apps, of course. So as we just found out previously, the eyes can see a plane at 45 kilometers away, miles away, then a camera will see it to 100.
That is moving.
And it's blinking like a plane. Does it fade? Does it keep filming it? See, this is how you can tell the difference between a plane and a satellite. A satellite will pass over on a curvature and reflect the sun, and can also have red specks in it as well as white. And it will gradually fade as it's going on the curvature of the Earth and flying past the sun reflecting of it. Or does this keep on going like a bright light of a plane? And we're going to find out because he stops it there. So I reckon it's a plane, but let's keep it going. Oh, just get rid of that noise. It's always louder than his voice. Among the stars, he reckons. So that looks like it was in the atmosphere.
Back with today's video, and it's a special video regarding
So he's back from holiday.
UFOs, space anomalies, and all sorts of strangeness. And I appreciate your guys' patience as I recently went on vacation to the beach.
As I keep saying.
And the main topic of today's video is what I captured while at the beach, and that I
hope it wasn't nasty. I hope your wife knows about what you caught.
I've been analyzing for the past almost 6 days straight, so you're going to want to be sure to stick around to the end of today's video.
Okay, move the camera around.
But before we get to that, just really quick, I want...
What beach is that he's on there? Long Island?
I want to say a big congratulations and...
where would Ohio be closest to a beach?
Thank you to the 4 viewers and supporters of Secure Team that...
Okay, so straight into merchandise, and he can't afford to give away stuff because he makes $1,000 a video and has 400 supporters on Patreon paying him $5 each, 2,000 there a month coming in, US dollars.
Recently won a giveaway that I held where 2 from our Patreon page who support monthly and 2 YouTube membership members in it. And so these mouse pads have the original newspaper print before the cover, and just the fact that all of you guys, whether you guys want to support
me, pay money, keep me on the beach.
Or check out the links in the video description. So now let's get right to the meat and potatoes of today's video. It's a special day because I'm not going to just show you some UFO footage. I'm going to show you some UFO footage that I recorded myself. Breaking news here.
And this makes it even worse because he calls everything a UFO. Zero research analysis done it.
Here on the channel. It's exciting because I've seen UFOs before, but I've never actually caught one on camera myself, I don't believe, except for when I was much...
He doesn't believe, guys.
much younger on VHS, and that tape has long since been...
as I always said, he's an actor. He's never believed in UFOs. He's just a liar.
Lost. So, long story short, my family and I went to the beach on vacation.
No surprise.
And it's a beach right near Myrtle Beach, if you know where that is, North Carolina.
So is that the wife behind, is it?
So...
is that the Kelly?
We're there, and I bring...
what's that? There's sun next to him.
Bring along with me my night vision infrared camera, and it's called the Aurora Pro, and it's
Aurora. I thought it was Sonics. NVG Pro. Oh, it is Sonics. There it is. Aurora. Sonics Aurora.
a really awesome, really powerful little one-eye piece monocular military grade night vision camera. And unlike the older military night vision IR scopes that only shoot in green, this shoots night vision infrared in full color. Infrared, of course,
and that's when we could see the plane lights blinking, as you can't normally tell,
is the wavelength that we cannot see with our naked eye. This is the Explorer edition, which is the best that you could...
The only problem is this camera is only 720p. It's not even 4K, which isn't really good.
Buy, and it's what I got at the time. It was about a little over $1,000, which is made by a company I believe is called Psionics.
So even though it's color, it's still only 720p.
And so every night at the beach,
unlike my security camera, that has a lot higher resolution than that, and is also in full color if you want it to be, but we found it better in black and white mode anyway.
When the sun would go down, I would rev...
Because black and white mode, actually, because they're not filtering it through different filters, can even show even dimmer light sources in the sky.
This thing up, and I'd start scanning the stars.
So check out my NZ Watch Sky series. I'm still yet to add more to that. Hopefully as it gets warmer again, which won't be too far away. And I have to finish off the cabling on it. But yeah, it should be good once you get it underway. I got a pole that can get above the house roof line, but it gets a wee bit too heavy. It's not one of those miniature cameras. I thought it was that was buying a miniature camera. It's one of these full security cameras, quite heavy. But it's got a nice big lens on it, and the bigger lens, the better, more light you got coming in, better quality image you get on the sensor.
And I caught nothing for the first 6 days at the beach, but on the 7th...
Okay, so that's color night vision. It's probably black there, just when the sun's gone down.
The day before, we're about to get up in the morning and drive 11 hours back to Ohio. At about 2 in the morning, I go out and I start recording. And I zoom in as far as I can. You can zoom in with this camera, and you get beautiful shots. Like the footage you're seeing here, I took right after or at dusk. So the sun had gone down, and to the naked eye, it was pretty much dark. But when I
so you can actually see cloud and stars.
Flipped to infrared on the camera, you suddenly saw hundreds of thousands of stars in the sky. I mean, this is a powerful camera. And then later in the night, we're talking midnight, 1 a.m.
But it's still only 720p, I believe.
2 a.m., you would see millions. You know, you'll get these beautiful shots where I'm panning through the stars, stopping for maybe 20 seconds to see if I can detect movement, and then moving on to another part of the sky. And I did this for 7 days. So on the 7th day, I'm panning the sky as usual. I'm at maximum zoom, so I am deep into the stars here. So whatever...
optical zoom, I guess he means, yeah, if it's digital zoom, it's pointless.
I capture at this zoom level is going to be, without a doubt, out in space, outside of Earth's atmosphere. And after
not necessarily, no. As we found out with Corbell stuff, right?
Recording for a good 30 minutes, I almost gave up. And that was until I first saw this object you're about to see here, and was the only object...
Yeah, it looks like he's added some filtering on it.
That I thought I had captured. That was until I got home and started editing this video and realized I had captured a ton more. So, before we go further, here's the footage of the object, and the only one that I visually detected and then followed. So, let's begin.
Which is a plane, I think.
Nope, that's moving.
Yeah, it's the plane one.
Whoa.
Moving.
That is moving.
They do move quite fast, planes.
I don't see any lights flickering.
You do if you zoom in like I did. Okay, you can see the stars even flickering, can't you?
Where'd it go? Shit.
Okay, this looks like there's some cloud cover there, is it? So where was the plane?
That was until I got home and started editing this video and realized I had captured a ton more. So before we go further, here's the footage of the object, and the only one that I visually detected and then followed. So let's begin.
But you lost it, dude. Okay, it's blinking like a plane.
No, that's moving.
Okay, what's he mean? He moves away from it. So that's
That
moving
is
away from
moving.
us. Looks like it's going on an angle away from us, so it's going to get dimmer.
I don't see any lights flickering.
Yeah, he's moved it. Where's it gone now? It was up here, wasn't it? I just lost it. See, it was getting dimmer and dimmer. It was moving away from us. So it looked like it turned and then went away again.
Where'd it go? Shit.
Okay, so as you saw, I am fully zoomed in and I detect something, and I am notably excited. I've been doing this for 7 days straight, not catching anything, or so I think, and I finally catch something. I don't care what the thing is, but I know it's an unidentified object steadily moving through space. I zoom out to try to get a better shot of it, and I lose the damn thing. I lose the UFO that I've waited 7 days to capture. So about 10 minutes go by, and I'm scanning and panning with the camera just all over the sky.
It's
when I
fading,
finally begin
moved it off the edge here, so it was still moving away.
to track the object again
here,
as it
up
slowly
here, up
fades into the darkness, or what I thought was the
So he's moved it way, it's way over here.
same object I had just recorded 10 minutes before.
So what are these guys saying on the side here? Oh, big comment. Not sure if you watched the Weinstein v. West debate. When was that? Last week or a few days ago? There's a moment where Weinstein breaks his ridiculous whoa character and says, hello Sondos, minions have been looking for it again. I'm not sure I understand. So, yeah, I saw the thing where Mick West was saying that people won't watch him because he's got the bunker listed in his title, which is ridiculous. It's like they don't want to be that their worldview changed because they might actually believe what he's telling them. But if you don't listen to him, then you can't actually see any errors in his breakdown or bias. Got to be careful of bias, you know, where you want to prove it's something rather than UFO. So instead of just being in the middle and just following where the evidence take you, like I'm trying to do here. We're watching this, we're seeing signatures or flashing lights and stuff, which puts it towards plane rather than UFO. Although there has been UFOs with flashing lights, which makes it really complicated. But yeah, because he's not using the apps, we can't rule out stuff. That makes it a bit harder. So if we saw a plane at 100 kilometers away, turning, banking, just the same as in video, we can then eliminate it properly. But in this case, we just have to go by our guts. He probably knows what he's filming and knows it's a jet.
I got it.
Is that the same plane? You see the stars are blinking with the atmospherics, right? That light's a lot more solid. But it seems to have more of a pulsing than the other ones, which tells me it's got some sort of strobe light on it. Now, is it the same object? I don't know. Could be another plane from the airport, you see. So yeah, dots in the sky doesn't really excite me. You want to try and zoom in right onto those ones. So he had another camera, the P1000. Don't know if it would be able to zoom in on that, but you normally would have that next toward the and have someone help you. Hopefully, would be ideal. Well, the way I do it on New Zealand Skywatch is control it all remotely by software. While the camera's outside, you're inside. Blah blah blah. It's sort of a wee bit better. You can see the height of it really isn't that high up not to be the maximum flight path of one of the planes, which can go up to 50,000 feet, right? And he's running it through some crazy filters there.
Okay, so before we go any further, some of you may have seen other UFOs in the footage that I have shown you thus far, and that includes the footage I showed you at the beginning, where it was just at dusk, and I was just talking about the camera and whatnot. So let's go back to the beginning where I capture the first UFO, the very first one, and the only one I see besides the one 10 minutes later. And when I got home, because it's very...
So there is cloud there where, if it's a plane, if it goes behind the cloud cover, it's going to disappear as well.
Very hard to see with this camera with your eye pressed up against it. The other eye is shut. You know, it takes getting home and seeing the footage on a large monitor to really know what you captured. And so when I got home, I noticed that this wasn't just one object passing by that I initially detected, but if you'll notice down below it, and because I'm zoomed in so far into the stars, and I just have no context to give me any idea of the distance here, but you'll notice below the main object, there's a second object that is mimicking it. It is flying along with it.
Which is another flight path for a plane, right?
And it's not a reflection or a camera effect, because eventually the two UFOs begin moving apart from one another, as you're seeing here. So while recording this main UFO,
which looks like one's flying up from the airport and taken off to a different country. The other one's coming into land.
I didn't see this second one that was following below it. So when I got home and I noticed this...
And it's obviously a smaller plane with less lights on it.
I also then noticed when I had lost these UFOs, what turned out to be two UFOs flying in sync with one another, and then 10 minutes later I thought I had relocated the same object, I realized...
That one kind of looks like it could be a satellite, this one. It's not blinking in the same way.
Either...
I don't think it's a plane.
This is the same object, and it did a total 180...
I don't know about that, mate.
...degree turn and started going the opposite way, or the object is totally separate.
Okay, so if it's a plane going the opposite way, it's probably in a holding pattern where it goes around in a circle all the time until the airport's cleared the traffic and says you can land now. That's common. Happens with the UFOs over Las Vegas guy. That's what he films half the time. It looks like UFOs going left and right, but they're actually going around in a circle in a holding pattern, waiting for orders to come down to land.
The first one I recorded, because as you'll see, and you can see here, this object 10 minutes later is moving from right to left, whereas the first two UFOs were moving left to right.
So we don't know his location. We've got no map or anything, even if it's just a general idea. It would help us out a lot.
it is being a satellite. So this thing materializing out of nowhere was pretty cool, and I'm just surprised.
Okay, so that thing that just popped out of nowhere, it's genuinely a satellite that's had the sun reflecting off it. And as it curves, it disappears
by
again.
all of these objects that I totally...
So it could be a satellite, or it could be simply this camera's picking up a heat signature of a bird or bats.
did not see while trying to record, mainly just the only one that I actually detected. And it also turns out that as I'm tracking this main object, as it fades off into the darkness, okay, the main object, 10 minutes later, as it's moving from right to left, but it looks like it's moving away from the camera, out into space. And as it begins to fade, yet again, just a minute or so after the materializing UFO, I detected a now 5th UFO jetting through space that appears at the upper left portion of your screen, halfway towards the middle, as it blasts downward at a southeastern angle toward the bottom right corner of the shot before disappearing, and it's kind of hard to see.
So he could be just filming a load of planes coming in for airport that's in that direction. It's hard to know, really, until we know map location, using apps and all sorts. This is just a waste of time looking at this. Could be even birds and bats, you know, because it's picking up heat signature.
But we'll do our best here.
Those really fainted ones could be biological, like birds or bats. He's just running through filters now. Doesn't really help it. Instead of bringing up a map or something, you know, saying this is where it was. As you can see, there's no airport. But, you know, he's not debunking it at all. Just some crazy music.
And just movement and activity of things in the distance, just everywhere. It was just amazing. And it's...
Planes, satellites, and birds. That's all I see. Or bats. Garbage, really. So that's, at least it's tried to do something different. But still, who do you trust? Can't trust a guy that actually faked interviews with himself. And did CGI and Photoshops. And he's been called out on it. And Angry Truth Seeker thing he did. So it doesn't matter what he puts up now. We know the real person. It's just garbage. So yeah, I better stop there. It's nearing dinner time now. So basically I put that up there. A comment that I saw on Twitter. And someone said, could it be satellites though? And he said, I'm sure some are, right? He didn't say that in the video, but also positive some aren't. That for damn sure. Stay safe. So that's just like a cop-out comment. And that's why you use tracking apps. I'm not sure how many people shared that. None bollocks it, I don't know. One liked it. So yeah, I think that comment sums it up. He knows what he's filming. Could be mundane stuff in the sky, but he doesn't care. He's only after the views. You really want to analyse that and say, well, this is my evidence that it's not a plane, this is not a satellite, here's the evidence. So it can only rule out, and this is not acting in any way like a bat turning and bird turning. Then you got real solid evidence that it's a UFO, right? And that's how you should present it, you know. So say, caught some credible stuff, ruled it out with all the apps and stuff I could, put it through to some debunkers as well, and they couldn't say that it wasn't a UFO. And then you got a really solid evidence on a UFO channel. Unless he wants to do it, debunk it real time like I do. That would be okay. Let's analyze it now, run it through apps. So that's a harder way in doing it. Instead of doing the apps real time and filming what's on the screen at the same time like I do with my New Zealand Skywatch series. And the last one, let's have a look. Quite a while ago now, because I was waiting for parts from China to complete the project how I wanted it. But a few episodes back now, winter's hit here, see. That's the last one there where we caught a Hercules flying overhead. I think it was episode 11. Yeah. So this is how you should do it with.
I even put it up.
4-panel with tracking software. So I was tracking that Hercules, wasn't I? Yeah, I was making it full screen, but I had, if you watch the beginning, I've actually got some new idea coming up where I can use other software now, instead of using the browser. Hopefully get more on the screen. That's the problem. But it shouldn't fall out. Okay, so that's my sky watching camera with a smartphone added on for compass. So yeah, I've bought another phone. Have I got one where I've got the 4 screens up? I normally zoom in onto the maps so you can track the planes in real time, then flip to the camera. But anyway, that's how you should be doing it, so it's all documented. And of course, the cameras also record straight onto memory cards internal into the camera, which is really handy. So if you really do capture something really amazing, you not only got it on your own remote control software, but you also got it on the internal SD cards that you can then download from remotely as well. But yeah, the first one that I did, I think I had multiple tabs and I just flicked through them. And then I found out this Velvidia browser allows you to have 4 different websites open and have like a panel of window. I'm not sure what episode it was now. But you know, go and watch the series if you're new to the channel. But that's how you're meant to do it, and that sort of helps you document what you're filming at the time. Even if you don't see it at the time, then you play it back, you still got a visual record of the planes in the sky at the time, and also the satellites. But anyway, better wrap up there. And I need to do a lot more research yet to bring you more stuff. Movie reviews and other stuff I've recorded. I got to look through it. So yeah, guys, time to wrap up. Dinner time. Although I feel a bit crook. The pills I take always have a bad side effect. So 3.5 hours did we spend on that? Man, time flies, doesn't it? Anyway, take care on the roads, and I'll see you going in the weekend, hopefully, with more stuff. Good night. Is it coming up? There we go. Thank you, Mr. G, thank you, Billy. Who else joined us tonight? Good to see some new faces. And people that are actually after answers, the truth, rather than BS. And that's a bit loud, isn't it? I forgot to turn it down. There we go. Bit of volume. Yeah, so hopefully if you're new, sub and comment on and watch the older videos and join our user group on Discord. It's in the pinned comment, all that links to all that sort of stuff. And some of the best videos are linked there as well. Must be coming up to 870 videos now, so there's plenty of material that Google is hiding from everybody because no one finds it, so I'm the mostly suppressed channel under the sun. Good night.